It's 40:17 a.m. in Washington, D.C. A faint tremor rolls through the earth, phones buzz. Alarms flicker to life across the globe. In the darkness above our world, something has arrived. On every major radar system from Tokyo to Texas, a silent object appears in the upper atmosphere. No heat signature, no radio communication, no known propulsion, just there. Then it stops moving. Hovering above the Pacific Ocean, a structure larger than a city block. And humanity, for the first time, faces the unthinkable question: what if aliens landed tomorrow? For decades, the question of extraterrestrial life has lived in science fiction. A curiosity, a dream, a fear whispered beneath the noise of modern life. But what if it became real? Not as a fantasy, not as a movie, but as a moment in human history that would divide time into before and after. The first reports would come from the Pacific air routes, pilots, commercial and military, describing an object unlike any they'd seen. Air traffic control would scramble, satellites would redirect, and governments, they would go silent. In the first 30 minutes, social media would explode. Videos from amateur fishermen, shaky phone footage from cargo ships, a glimmer of metallic light reflected in the dawn. Millions of people would watch it live, their hearts racing, their fingers refreshing the feed every second. By the first hour, the world's most powerful nations would be on high alert. The United States Pacific Command, China's strategic rocket forces, Russia's aerospace defense, every radar, every missile system waiting. But the object would not move. It would not respond. It would simply hover, quiet, steady, patient, like it was watching. And then, at 6:03 a.m. Pacific time, the first transmission would begin. No voice, no language, just a sequence of tones, rhythmic, mathematical, precise. Every observatory on Earth would capture it. Every scientist would run to their instruments, decoding, analyzing, searching for meaning. Some would call it music, others, a warning. Within 2 hours, every major global news network would break normal programming. Markets would close. Flights would be grounded. World leaders would convene in emergency summits. The United Nations would open its chambers to an audience of billions. But for all our preparation, all our technology, one truth would become painfully clear. We are not in control. So what or who are they? If aliens truly landed tomorrow, their presence alone would rewrite everything we know about biology, physics, and ourselves. Imagine an intelligence capable of crossing the impossible distances between stars. To reach Earth, they would have mastered energy far beyond our comprehension. Antimatter drives, warp mechanics, quantum propulsion. Power that could bend the very structure of space and time. Their technology would appear to us as magic. Their materials, indestructible. Their biology, incomprehensible. If they came in peace, they would hold the keys to everything we've ever dreamed of: cure for disease. Infinite energy, a map of the cosmos. But if they came with other intentions, then humanity's entire arsenal, from nuclear weapons to drones, would be as useless as stones thrown at a storm. Before a single shot was fired, before any message was translated, humanity would fracture. Religions would tremble. Beliefs would collapse or transform overnight. In the streets, some would kneel in worship. Others would riot in fear. Entire governments could crumble under the weight of uncertainty. Because this is not just about meeting another species. It's about realizing we are not alone. And maybe we never were. For centuries, human identity has been built on one silent assumption: that Earth is unique, that we are the story. But if aliens landed tomorrow, that illusion would shatter instantly. Every textbook, every scientific model, every philosophy of existence would have to be rewritten. Our place in the universe, suddenly small. By midday, the object's coordinates would be fully locked. Fighter jets would circle at a distance. Surveillance drones scanning every angle. Naval fleets would form an invisible ring across the Pacific. Behind the scenes, secret intelligence briefings would unfold. Could it be a weapon? Could it be a message? Could it be a test? And then, a choice would hang in the air. Do we make contact? Or do we prepare to fight? The White House Situation Room, the Kremlin War Desk, Beijing's Central Military Commission. All would face the same impossible question. If this object had traveled millions of light years to reach us, what could possibly stop it now? Hours pass. The world holds its breath. Then suddenly, the tones shift, the pattern changes. Mathematicians notice a sequence, prime numbers, Fibonacci spirals, a structure, universal in nature. They're speaking in the language of the cosmos. Mathematics, the only code that transcends life itself. A message is forming. But it's not words, it's images, encoded bursts of data, transmitted across every radio frequency on Earth. The same pattern repeated endlessly. When decoded, it reveals a shape, a circle, then another. Then a symbol resembling Earth. They're acknowledging us. Panic begins to fade into wonder. Crowds gather outside observatories. Children point at the skies. News anchors, trembling, try to find the words. This is the first confirmed contact with an extraterrestrial intelligence. Across continents, religions release statements. Some proclaim prophecy fulfilled. Others warn of deception. Philosophers speak of a new dawn. Militaries still prepare for the worst. Because in truth, no one knows what comes next. Scientists argue, what are they made of? Are they carbon-based, like us? Do they breathe, eat, think as we do? Or are they something entirely different? Living machines, conscious energy, or perhaps something beyond life itself? On Earth, evolution shaped us through chaos, mutation, and survival. But on another world, under different suns, evolution may have written an entirely different script. Imagine beings that don't see through light, but through gravity. That communicate not through sound, but through magnetic resonance. That exist in dimensions we can't perceive. To them, our world might look primitive, our cities like sandcastles, our species like children playing with fire, and yet they came here. Why? Perhaps they've watched us for centuries, our radio waves spreading through space, our nuclear detonations lighting the void, our signals, a flare in the cosmic dark. Maybe they've waited until now, because humanity finally crossed an invisible threshold. Technology, communication, atomic power, we became visible, we became significant. But significance cuts both ways. When a civilization discovers another, it's rarely equal. One dominates, the other adapts, or disappears. History on Earth tells this story again and again, from Columbus to colonization. Whenever two civilizations meet, one always pays the price. If the same rule applies beyond the stars, we might not be the explorers. We might be the discovered. By evening, the object begins to move, slowly, silently descending through the atmosphere. Cities across the Pacific Rim go dark as power grids overload. In Hawaii, emergency sirens wail. Military jets escort the object's descent, powerless to intervene. Then, without warning, it stops, 300 meters above the ocean's surface. Waves crash outward. Sensors record no heat, no radiation, no life. And then from the object's underside, a column of light extends into the sea. Water vaporizes instantly. The world watches in absolute silence. It's not an invasion. It's not an attack. It's something else, a process, something beginning. In that moment, the world stands on the edge of revelation, or extinction. For the first time in human history, we are not the apex species. We are not the storytellers. We are the observed. What happens next will define our future, or end it. The light cuts through the ocean like a blade. Sensors on ships hundreds of miles away register impossible readings. The temperature beneath the beam is rising, not by degrees, but by dimensions. Something is happening beneath the surface. For the first time in recorded history, humanity is witnessing an event not of its own making, a process beyond comprehension, unfolding in our own skies. And across the world, every nation holds its breath. In Washington, London, and Beijing, satellite feeds flicker on massive screens. The object hovers, motionless, glowing faintly. Inside a classified control room, the world's top scientists and generals argue over what to do next. Should we fire a probe? Should we respond to the signal? Should we prepare for evacuation? Every answer leads to fear. Every silence feels louder. Hours ago, humanity was alone. Now, it is standing at the gates of the unknown. Then, at 20,014 UTC, a single word appears across every data monitor simultaneously, a word in perfect English. Transmitted through every frequency, W-ite. The message freezes the world. No one knows how to interpret it. Is it a warning? A command? A translation error? Religious leaders call for calm. Politicians call for restraint. But fear spreads faster than light. In the streets of Los Angeles and New Delhi, millions look up at the sky, searching for more. Hospitals overflow with panic attacks and injuries from stampedes. Markets collapse. In some places, people gather in prayer. In others, they prepare for the end, because one word, wait, is enough to remind humanity of how powerless it truly is. Beneath the calm surface of the Pacific, autonomous submersibles are launched from US and Japanese naval vessels. Their mission, to reach the source of the light beam. As they descend, the readings become erratic. Compasses spin uncontrollably. Cameras flicker, then stabilize. And there, in the deep blue dark, the beam seems to converge into a sphere. A structure half buried in the seafloor, pulsing softly. No visible seams, no movement. Just watching. Then one of the drone's audio sensors captures something faint, like a whisper. A low, rhythmic pulse, almost like a heartbeat. Above the surface, an international decision is made. Humanity will respond. Using the same universal language, mathematics, a coded signal is transmitted through radio and light. A message of peace, of curiosity, of intent. The signal echoes into the atmosphere, then fades. For 6 minutes, there is nothing. Then the ocean begins to glow. A vibration runs through the air, powerful enough to be felt hundreds of miles away. And suddenly, every digital device on the planet goes black. Satellites, funds, aircraft systems, darkness. For nearly 3 hours, the world is silent. No broadcasts, no communication. Only the sky, illuminated by that impossible light. People gather in streets, rooftops, and beaches, staring upward. It's as if the planet itself is holding still. When systems finally return, scientists notice something terrifying. The world's magnetic field has shifted, not by inches, by degrees. An entire planetary signature, altered. Then at 03:32 a.m. local time, the transmission begins again. Not sound, not words, but images flowing in rapid succession, encoded in radio pulses, captured by satellites and displayed across every frequency. At first, they appear abstract, fractals, spirals, cosmic patterns. Then, they form a sequence of recognizable shapes, atoms, cells. DNA, it's a message about life. Theirs, ours, shared. But hidden within the patterns, a deeper image begins to emerge. A map, not of Earth, but of a system beyond the edge of our known galaxy. Coordinates pointing to a region 28,000 light-years away. It's not a threat, it's an invitation. World leaders face an impossible dilemma. Do we respond again? Do we send a ship, a probe, a message back into the unknown? Or do we stay silent and hope they leave? Some believe it's an opportunity, the greatest in history. Others see it as a trap. An intelligence capable of such power might not be exploring. It might be expanding. Inside the United Nations, emergency sessions last through the night. Every decision feels historic and irreversible. For the first time in modern history, humanity acts as one species. But the question remains, one that no one dares to voice out loud. Are we ready to meet our creators? As dawn breaks over the Pacific, the alien craft begins to move again. Slowly, it lowers toward the ocean surface, the water rising in massive spirals around it. Every ship within range retreats. Jets circle, powerless to intervene. And then, in a blinding flash, the vessel submerges. No explosion, no sound. Only silence. Within seconds, the ocean calms. Sensors detect nothing. No trace of heat movement or metal. It's gone. Across the planet, disbelief reigns. News stations replay the footage on endless loop. Some claim it was an illusion, a natural phenomenon, a mass delusion. Others call it the day humanity changed forever. But scientists know the truth. The ocean floor where the beam struck remains altered. Its composition molecularly changed. Matter rearranged in ways no human technology can replicate. And in orbit, satellites detect a faint residual energy. A repeating pulse, moving away from Earth deeper into space. Almost like a message received. Days later, a classified mission is launched to study the seafloor site. A team of deep sea divers descends with robotic equipment, searching for physical evidence. What they find defies explanation. Embedded in the sediment, a fragment of unknown material, smaller than a coin, perfectly smooth. When touched, it emits a vibration, a tone identical to the alien transmission. When scanned, it displays a symbol, the same one seen in the first message, a circle, then another, then Earth. Weeks pass. Governments restrict information. The public begins to move on. Life resumes, almost as if nothing happened. But the scientists studying the fragment notice something impossible. The material is alive. Its atomic structure is rearranging itself, slowly forming a new pattern, a lattice that mimics human DNA. The implication is chilling. The visitors didn't just come here to meet us. They came here to seed something, to begin something. And now, deep beneath the ocean, that process is still unfolding. For centuries, humanity looked up at the stars, wondering if someone else was out there. Now we know the answer. But the truth may be stranger than comfort allows. If they arrived once, they can return. If they came peacefully, their purpose remains unknown. And if their message was an invitation, then perhaps one day we will follow. But maybe the question isn't why they came. Maybe the question is, what did they leave behind? Because as we gaze upward, searching for life among the stars, we may already be carrying their legacy inside us. And somewhere in the vast silence between galaxies, a faint echo returns, the same word we once received,